Hi, Pile One. Welcome to your reading about connection and romance and love and how that is wrapping up for you. Originally, I think I had the concept of making a specific time period. So, say by the end of 2024 or sometime in 2025, but I think I'm just going to make this timeless so that you can watch this at any point in time. With that being said, I have drawn 2 oracle cards from the Whispers of Love deck. So I thought we'd get into these first. So we have Demonstrate Love. Find out what is important to those you love and act on it. And I think I want to be clear, though most of this, even though I'm talking about love and romance, a disclaimer, I'm going to try to make this a connections-based video, meaning that this will apply to any relationship that is significant within your life, not just your romantic partners. So we have Demonstrate Love, and with the number 48 here, that reduces to 12, so Pisces might be significant. We have 42, rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take a break. Okay, so let's talk about these 2 cards. And again, take what resonates, leave the rest for the collective. This is a general reading. What I'm seeing is that some of you in this pile might be homeowners, or you live together in a space. It could be a rental, like in terms of, you still share responsibilities with someone significant. However, you don't have necessarily the entire list that a homeowner would have, if that makes sense. And so in addition to maybe, taking care of cleaning up your space, there's also family obligations and things like that, especially at the time I'm filming this. We're in the holiday season, and so there's just a lot of pressure. And for some of you, I think through all of the hustle and bustle, the romance part of your relationship can get lost. And then on top of, again, balancing kids, a full-time job, pets, responsibilities at home, family, and all of the expectations and roles and hats that we wear, it's a lot of pressure. And at the end of the day, you might feel so completely drained that engaging in some form of connection might just feel like more exhausting. So, in terms of spending time together, you might watch a TV show together, but maybe both of you are on your phones, or you're laying in bed next to each other, but you're both on screens, something like that, where you're in the proximity, but not actively engaging. And believe me, I've been there. I'm kind of there sometimes right now myself. I'm not saying that this, you need to change your whole life so that you can prioritize. Yes, there are certain things you can do, but life is life, So, with rest and relaxation, there are, several types of rest. So again, I had mentioned children. Now, if that applies to you, maybe their sleep schedule is affecting your sleep schedule, or responsibilities that they need throughout the night, is your responsibility, and therefore you're losing sleep. And again, when those internal circumstances are there in terms of like the chronic lack of sleep, just like the just it invites a blah kind of like energy, and it takes a lot to be on all the time, especially when you're working again within the limiting capacity of, you're not your best. You're not operating at 100%. In terms of social rest, there's spending time alone if you can, or like whatever that means to you. Rest is subjective. So, for example, for some people, having that alone time and needing time to recharge, especially after a really long day at work. However, some people might really need connection with genuine people. And so hanging out with friends and family who you feel like you feel comfortable and confident being your authentic self, that is an uplifting experience. So like board game night or something, it doesn't have to be going out to the bars or whatever, I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing, but like do whatever makes you happy. Maybe have a connection, like a ritual that you do. Like, again, I said game night, but like that could look like D&D for some people. And that might only happen once a month, but it's something that you have on your calendar that you can make space for. But there's also different types of rest. There's physical rest, there's mental rest, emotional, sensory, creative, spiritual. And I'll let you kind of take a look at that. But also it made me think about the adage, like, you're not, or the rule, I guess, that we've been telling ourselves in relationships, I think earlier on, is like, don't go to bed angry. When in reality, a lot of the times when we're deprived of sleep, because it's usually not just one night, or even one night's sleep is not going to automatically correct the previous night. You know what I mean? So it's, on top of the other factors, it just adds more, it amplifies everything. And so continuing to push yourselves just to come to a resolution, that can wait. The need for sleep kind of, you have to, balance. Because at the end of the day, you're both going at it. It's not a productive conversation for either one of you. It does more harm than good. Okay. And then I think with demonstrate your love, it's loving people for who they are, where they're at, and like how they want to be loved. A lot of people, I'm sure of the 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, giving gifts, physical touch. So all of those consist of different things. So for example, let's just take words of affirmation. Complimenting them, expressing your love and appreciation for them. You can demonstrate this by, hyping up your partner or your spouse in front of friends, or loved ones, writing love letters to each other, or like little post-it notes, because maybe they didn't receive that growing up. Maybe they never heard someone say, like, I'm proud of you. And so that really goes a long way. I think a lot of people, they don't consider that it also applies after a conflict, And so if your person values words of affirmation, then after the conflict, it's important that you communicate words that convey a sense of security and initiate a sincere apology, and or because, sometimes there might not need an apology, but it's important that they feel seen and heard. Now, that's going to look different than for, let's say, acts of service, because then it requires, especially like after a conflict, tangible acts that demonstrate changes that were requested during. I don't even want it, like, conflict. I know it's there, but I just don't like it because I understand where it stems from, but it's an expression. It's a word, it's like that we're struggling to connect with our partner or with something. We're just struggling to connect with them because we don't feel seen or heard. I know that that's maybe super simplistic, but that's just where my mind went. So again, meeting them where they are. Because, like, again, if you compliment someone over and over and that's not their love language, it's going to come across like it might overwhelm them. It might make them a little bit more anxious. You don't know how it's going to affect. And I think to some degree, I do value that. But let's say, let's say mine, this is not, I usually really like physical touch, but but it's only from my partner. I feel otherwise invaded. And so that he's the only person that I allow in my bubble. But let's say I'm not feeling it. Let's say I'm not, into like the touch thing, whether or not it's like you're having a bad day or whether that might be someone, again, that's not their thing. It might and it might overwhelm them, because it's a sensory thing, and you violating that shows that you're not listening. And so it's, again, that's why it's important. I also think it's important to consider the love languages that we show ourselves as well. But there's also I know that those are the 5, but I've also found more that they're considered underrated love languages. I'll leave that in the description box or somewhere, but like consistency, attunement, vulnerability, foreplay, nurture, and there's also different types of intimacy: emotional, physical, intellectual, spiritual, experiential. So I'll leave that down in the description box, and you can kind of take a look on that, reflect, maybe have a conversation with your partner. So I feel like any love reading, the queen of love herself is like Taylor Swift in my eyes. And so I'm going to use the Eras Tour deck to get a message. So what is Pile 1's message? The High Priestess. The tomb won't close, stained glass windows in my mind. I think, is that, I'm blanking. Hold on. Yeah, it's from Midnight's. That's what I thought. Would've, could've, should've. God rest my soul. I miss who I used to be. The tomb won't close. Stained glass windows in my mind. I regret you all the time. I can't let this go. I fight with you in my sleep. This wound won't close. I kept on waiting for a sign. I regret you all the time. This wound won't close. I kept on waiting for a sign. This tomb won't close. Stained glass windows in my mind. You don't always see. The only time you see in detail the intricacies of stained glass is when the sun shines through. And it almost seems like this person left a fragmented sense of self. Tomb is a container, to hold a dead body, right? And so there could be issues cutting, like releasing the past. The high priestess is the moon, which is Cancerian energy. It talks about our emotions. And so, as the love language, as I said, was vulnerability. And so, like, open and honest communication, sharing deep thoughts, expressing your wants and needs, that might be difficult for you. That might be something that you struggle to communicate with your partner. It's terrifying to let the walls down. And for you, this is taking a risk when it comes to sharing your experiences from the past, the present, and the future. So, like, I think for some of you, it's like you need to be there for your partner all the time. And I think there's some, like, perception of perfection that is going on here, in which, like, you feel comfortable doing that and, like, being there to wholeheartedly support and not share as much because it's not that you don't trust this person. It's like you don't feel comfortable sharing because you don't know how they're going to react. And it might be in part due to something that you've experienced in your early environment, but like the moon can talk about secrets, keeping things private. And I think sometimes we don't have that awareness into our wounds personally until we're in a relationship, and then it's almost like everything gets magnetized. Okay, I've been going on and on and on. But, like, for example, one of the signs that, like, there might be an unhealed father wound, it relates to this. But it's like there's an inherent lack of trust towards your partners, but also to yourself. And therefore, there needs to be trust within yourself so that you can better trust others. Okay, so with that being said, I do think that you are learning to love yourself, learning to learn more about who you are and what you need, and maybe even expressing that to some degree. This other person as well, like, if it's not for you, this person might also be relatively private. Because the moon deals with the subconscious realm of reality, you might actually dream about their soulmate, or like someone might predict when you're going to meet your soulmate. You might find out details. For example, when I was like actively manifesting love 4 years ago, which is the perfect time to do it, right, in a pandemic. But I was craving connection, not in a healthy way. I think one of he's like half cousin, half uncle. I consider him more of like a father figure because of the age difference. But he called my behavior, which is like, this is so on point, but it was relationship hopping. And sometimes we're hopping through to feel that sense. And I'm not saying that this applies to you. I'm just saying that like you might either get scared and like run away from your feelings, or like this person might get too close, or it could be a manifestation of like your subconscious beliefs. And so reflecting on that, but also, oh, I would like listen to tarot readings and they would be like, oh, your partner has black hair. I was also, okay, so I'm bi. Okay, I'm a bi butterfly. And I was dating a woman for like 2 years. And after our relationship ended, I was really unsure about dating men again because I didn't really have a desire to. And I tried it and I liked it. And I was like, okay, a lot of the guys that I went to yoga with were Leos. And I was like, I feel pretty comfortable with them. So I manifested a Leo and I got one. And he, like, the readings were like, oh, he has black hair. He's like really into movies and stuff. And I was like, okay, like, all right. And like, son of a cracker. And I think they said like, oh, he's gonna be from like a different culture, and it's like it was just weird how it all came together. He's Filipino, and so it's like he's just he's just so perfect. And like when we met, there was so many synchronicities. And so it's like, again, I had to wait for him. And honestly, I was about to cut him off. Like I was about when he reached out, I was kind of done. Like I was like, I guess he was like the last one, but I kept putting him off and he kept pursuing. And I'm so happy he did. Um, because it's like, again, sometimes you don't realize what you have until it's right in front of you. Um, if your relationship is like, if you're in a relationship, it usually means like you have a strong, like I was saying, like there were things that we did that were like really kind of like weird or unusual, but we both did them, or we both would use like similar expressions. Like you have a really strong psychic connection. Like this person can read your mind from across the room. Like it's so weird. Or they'll like suggest to get something for dinner and maybe that's what you've been thinking about all day and you're like, how did you read my mind? Now, that's true, but not always. And that's where that communication comes in. Okay, I feel like I have been talking forever and it's only been one card. But also like the would have, could have, should have, like we can't change the past. And maybe you focus a lot of energy on the past and where you were at in this point in your life. And I think it's important to like acknowledge how far you've come. Or, and again, this came to my mind too, but like even if you're single and this is a breakup, like creating your own sense of closure. We have the 3 of Pentacles, which is Mars and Pisces. Good. thing my daddy made me get a boating license when I was 15, and I've cleaned enough houses to know how to cover up a scene. Good thing Estes' sister sister's gonna swear she was with me. She was with me, dude. Like, okay, so this is like teamwork makes the dream work. This is creating goals together. There is a marriage and family therapist who I follow. Her name is Steph Anya, and she's amazing. And I actually had seen this. It might have been an older video, but it's still on her channel. Like, it's still relevant to this video. I mean, and she explains how to set goals as a couple. So if I can remember, I will link that as well. But this is willing to set aside your differences and compromise in order to reach a common goal. I actually really want to do this with my partner. I want to create like a couples vision board. And so we put like our joint dreams on there. I've created vision boards in the past. I've also, part of me wants to create like a vision book, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Like a vision, yeah, like instead of a vision board, like a dream book. I've done that before. And then, or you could do it, if you don't want to do it physically, you can also do it digitally and maybe make like a Canva, like a shared thing on Canva where you both can work on it. And then you talk about it in terms of like, how satisfied are we in these different areas of life? And then you both go through it and you compare notes. And then you pick maybe 2 to 3 areas that you want to focus on, and then make those your focus, your primary areas of focus, in case you get overwhelmed. If you want a little bit of everything, make like a charcuterie board of it. That's totally fine with me. Oh, see, okay, we have the Hermit. So like taking time away. This ties back into the rest and relaxation, but also the reflection that you have individually and together. Oh, this is my favorite. My castle crumbled overnight. I brought a knife to a gunfight. They took the crown, but it's all right. All the liars are calling me one. Nobody's heard from me for months. I'm doing better than I ever was. And like spending that quality time, that rest and relaxation, maybe like a vacation, maybe a change of scenery. Okay, and this is gonna sound a little, but it's like you guys could go to the grocery store. Like sometimes, just taking yourselves out of the home environment where all the stress is, that's that's time between the two of you to bond, to talk, to push around a cart and to pick up some groceries and just like speak to each other in a space where you don't have all the responsibilities. Oh, and then on the bottom of the deck was the 4 of Wands. I'm going to place it here, but this is Lover. We could let our friends crash in the living room. This is our place. We make the call. I love that. I love that so much. And 4 is the number of stability. It's Venus and Aries. The Hermit is Virgo. I was picking up Virgo and Pisces energy here. So Moon, which is Cancer. We have 3 of Pentacles, which is Mars and Capricorn. We have the Hermit, which is Virgo. And then we have 4. And again, Venus and Aries. You guys are really great at making, like if you're a couple, you are really talented at making the space your own and like making it a sanctuary for like your friends and your family. And like you both like really care about the space. So like maybe, for example, maybe the big thing you're tackling this year or in the next year is like your home. Or taking a vacation with rest and relaxation, or cooking a meal together. Message for love for pile 1. We're only going to get a couple more decks. So some of you are in the beginning stages. I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming, having fun flirting, wanting to date. So for those of you who maybe are getting out of a relationship, maybe you're finally ready to kind of get back out there. For others of you, flirting might be something that you incorporate. And Alex Cooper on the Sorry We're Cyrus podcast said, like, foreplay starts at 7 in the morning. Like, foreplay is an all day thing, and really like leaning into that, because that's what like leads up to a really fun time, if you know what I mean. You're doing a lot of things for each other. It's like, it's weird because even like Marty and I, we've been together for 4 years and we're still like, it doesn't feel like the love and connection we've given to each other when we first started dating has dwindled at all. It's weird. And not weird, but it's like, that wasn't, I guess, the case in my previous relationships. Granted, I haven't been in, like, this is my longest. I was with my previous relationships for like around 2 years. So maybe a year and a half, the second one, but it's, you know, and so to have that consistency over such a long period of time, I think says a lot. And so it is possible. Don't think that like it's just the honeymoon phase and then it's when things go down the drain. We have soulmates. We have soul connection, partnership, agreement, and soul contract. Now, soulmates can be different things. Soulmates can be, you know, jobs. They can be karmic relationships, like whether good or bad. But I think in this context, you feel like this person is like the only person in the world that knows you. Like it's almost scary. A soul contract is something that you sign before your soul incarnates on this planet in the 3D. And you kind of know what you're going to sign up for before your soul comes into the real world. But there's beauty in that belief, in the sense that like you're taking on this life, and while not all relationships within this timeline were meant to, you know, last, like each relationship that you've come into contact with has given you a nugget of wisdom about how to move forward. And our relationships have the capacity to teach us a lot about ourselves, about how we want to feel loved, how we want to feel seen. Okay, so I'm going to finish with some tea leaf oracle cards, and I will send you on your merry way. Messages in love for pile 1. If you are manifesting a partner right now, a vision board, and or the candle got me into thinking like candle magic. Success. I think you two will have a lot of success together. And I think both of you value solutions. Like you value, like you're both solution oriented people. And you both share in this successful vision that you have for the future. So I think both of you are on the same page in that sense. You honor each other's successes. You are like really and truly impressed by their skills and abilities. Okay, so we have gavel, involvement with the law. Now I see this as a successful thing. Now this gavel with the law, this could be like a judge, in that, like, you know, you're getting a marriage license signed. It could be like adopting children. It could also be divorce and ending a relationship and stepping into this new beginning. With the moon, this is like emotionality. This is unrelated to this, by the way. I'm just saying what I came to mind. So feeling your emotions, communicating your emotions, communicating your wants and needs, because Virgo is the planet of, or Mercury is the planet of communication. Now, Virgo is one that rules routine and our habits at home. And like, what habits are you making? Or it's, you know, depositing into your emotional bank account. And that's a concept that was brought was introduced like through the Gottman Institute. And so there's ways, again, of making deposits. And so I'm just going to read the first one. Turn towards your partner's bids for connection. So bids for connection are verbal or nonverbal attempts a person makes to connect with their partner. They can be small or big, spoken or unspoken. Healthy couples constantly make and accept, aka turn towards, bids to connect. And there's a bank of bids. So there's like the verbal, which is questions, statements, or stories, affectionate touching, facial expressions, playful touching, affiliating gestures like opening a door, offering a place to sit, handing a utensil. Marty at the dinner table, he always serves me first. Like, always. Unless I'm doing it. But if he has control of like the serving spoon, I don't, and it's weird. Like, I'm not used to that. I'm used to doing it. So I'm not like, it's weird to receive, I guess, and that's something that I'm learning to be comfortable with. And then vocalizing. So like laughing, sighing, groaning in a way that invites interaction or interest. I'll link this down below as well. Okay, let me get into any other messages in love. Relationships. We have unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Go with your gut. We have fox. Shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. But you take advantage of the resources available to you. And you also are, I think with this fox, you're willing to understand your limits in order to, like, you know what you can't handle and what you can handle. I think there's like a firmness in boundaries. And then we have goldfish with increased material wealth or spiritual growth. I actually lied. I was going to show you guys. Let's see. Do I have it? Yes, I do. It's in the spiritual, the Spirit Animal Guidebook. So we have, what is it? What did we have? We have fox first. I'm just going to show it to you so you can pause if you want to read what the message is for you. Oh my God, literally fox, the first thing is trust your intuition. And the high priestess with the moon, that's all intuition. So I'm just going to show you the page. We have 11 or 115. So January 15th, November 5th, May 11th, February 5th, those could all be indications. And they actually break it down into different types of foxes. I don't know. I think this would be a red fox, but I'm not sure. I don't know what a kit fox is. But I think this is interesting. Important to be flexible and adaptable using the resources you have immediately available. Let the fires of passion in your heart be expressed through some creative process. And that could be a process that you do together. Let me see. I don't know if fish is in here. Like if just it's... No, I don't think so. I think they have like specific fish. I doubt that goldfish is in here. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Which is okay. Yeah. And then I know unicorn is in here though. Page 274 and 275. Okay, that's all I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in a video soon. Ciao, ciao for now. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading about your message in love. So I wanted to start out with this card that I pulled from the Whispers in Love deck. This is card number 39, which reduces to 12 and 3. Those numbers might be significant. 3 either representing a date, so the 3rd of a particular month, or it could signify March. We have 9 that could represent September, in addition to the 9th of the month. But 39 in terms of an age might be significant. March through September might have been a particularly important time. This is timeless, so take that with what you will and apply the time periods accordingly. 3 or 9 might be your life path number or your partner's life path number. The energy of 39 is loving and caring. It wants to provide loving acts of service in order to help make the world at large a better place for humanity. It's super flexible, super easygoing, and 9 represents humanity, the emotions, the feelings, the love of life. And it's expressing itself in the 3, which is happiness and joy, using one's talents to express life at its fullest. Positive 39 words include friends, gentleness, humanity, quietude, refine, romantic wedding, writer. Negative 39 words: critical, disgrace, malicious, and negative 39 words describing actions that do harm, corrupt, foolish, slaughter. Cut out that part. Okay, so with that being said, I mean, some of you might be planning a wedding or a celebration. When I saw like the be authentic, be real and true to who you are and how you feel, the throat chakra came up. Blue is associated with compassion, serenity, honesty. And so while we might be able to show that to others, maybe it's hard for ourselves to feel comfortable being authentic out of fear of judgment or rejection. There is ways of showing yourself authentic kindness, and that differentiates from people-pleasing. Examples of people-pleasing include denying and doubting your own reality, allowing harmful behavior so you don't lose the love, keeping your needs and feelings to yourself out of fear and shame, saying yes, and then immediately after feeling internal regret and resentment, feeling that you need to fix or rescue someone because they need you to. Examples of authentic kindness include standing up for yourself in a compassionate way, letting someone know when they've hurt you or crossed a boundary, believing in someone's ability to do what's best for them, refusing to get involved in behaviors that harm you, saying no and putting your needs first. I just wanted to touch on that. But also, too, like being true to who you are might come with a cost. So, for example, after setting boundaries with friends or family and making decisions that prioritize your needs, you still might feel some measure of guilt for letting them down. And that's an example, I guess, of an emotional growing pain. There's sadness that accompanies releasing emotionally draining individuals from our lives in authentic spaces, or outgrown relationships. Like, we still mourn those individuals. It's almost like this I don't know if it's a chameleon, but that's what I'm thinking of, in that we, try to blend in and be someone that we think we need to be to make someone else happy. And even like the swan, isn't that where like the ugly duckling, is that right? Ugly duckling. Oh no, I think it's a duckling. I think Trumpet of the Swan. But the ugly duckling talks about a baby duck, and he was hatched with his brothers and sisters, and he was ridiculed and ostracized because they perceived him as ugly. He wanders alone through the fall and winter and suffers from fear, loneliness, and sadness. I always say too that we saw these as like stories, but reading them back as adults, it's like, dang. The moral of the ugly duckling story is to accept people for their qualities, their values, their friendship, and their humility. Do not judge others because of how they look. I also think that there's something in there about being aware or conscientious of when you compare yourself and what that might be bringing up for you. We also have like the butterfly, for example, which talks about transformation, and we have someone playing, I want to say, a flute. Now, what I was thinking of is like a butterfly. A caterpillar might not want to be a butterfly. Like, they're like, I'm chill here. Like, I don't need to do this, because I don't want to be in this cocoon for this amount of time. Like, I'm good. But that doesn't happen, right? The caterpillar follows the natural instinct to cocoon, or to make their cocoon. But like, for example, this person, she's doing her own thing, right? Like, she's not saying like, oh, I want to, like, why can't I be a flute player? Like, she is content in her own space. This is like the power of trust when you are your authentic self, when you are able to be your authentic self, but also, holding space for others to do the same. The rising sun is like an indication of hope is on the horizon kind of deal, with the mountains representing our foundation. I love, like, this is like pure like storybook illustrations, this deck. I'm gonna use the Taylor Swift Eras Tour deck for this, because who better knows romance than Taylor Swift herself? So yeah. But loving yourself for who you are. You don't know another person's story. Like, you don't know their story. And so you can't judge someone who you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Be authentic. Be authentic. Pile 2. What is pile 2's message in love? Okay, let's see. We have the Hierophant. But we might just get away with it. Religion's in your lips, even if it's a false god we'd still worship. We might just get away with it. The altar is my hips, even if it's a false god we'd still worship this love. Holding space for intimacy. Honoring what's sacred for you. There might be something here about religion. Maybe your partner is of a different faith. I mean, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I think that's case dependent. The Hierophant talks about the Pope, and the Pope is like, the priest that honors the wedding, so weddings might be happening. Learning about each other, learning about what the other needs to feel seen, what they need to feel a sense of comfort. Physical intimacy, though, is like the area, the domain that I'm seeing, and strengthening that. So that could be, like cuddling, kissing, nurturing, touch, foreplay, and then the act itself, but finding ways to make it authentic for the two of you. Penetration doesn't need to happen. There are other ways that like you can do that together and make that enjoyable for the both of you. There's more than just physical intimacy. There's intellectual intimacy. So like deep conversations and sharing beliefs and opinions and stories, and getting curious in terms of learning about your partner in an open-minded way. There are experiential ways of intimacy that can be cultivated through shared experiences, trying something new together, whether it's like a restaurant, a hobby, a movie, something like that. Co-creating routines that work for the both of you. Dedicating accountability to each other to keep certain habits consistent. Planning adventures, and also embracing spontaneity. So yeah, that's what I got. And then, okay, we had quite a bit. So I don't know. We'll see. They told me, this is the Eight of Swords. They told me all of my cages were mental, so I got wasted, like all my potential. The like self-imposed limiting beliefs about yourself, I think, and that might be related to the authentic piece that we had here. I'm gonna go through all of them. We had there's like 7, so I don't know. We have the Six of Wands. We are the kings and the queens. You traded your baseball cap for a crown when they gave us our trophies, and we held them up for our town. Six of Wands. Then we have the Knight of Wands. And I don't know how it gets better than this. You take my hand and drag me headfirst fearless. And I don't know why, but with you, I dance in a storm in my best dress fearless. Like, so taking risks. Ooh, okay. Okay, this is interesting. We have the Queen of Wands. Okay, lots of wand energy. Because, baby, I could build a castle out of all the bricks they threw at me, and every day is like a battle, but every night with us is like a dream. New romantics. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, and then, oh my God, the sun. I used to think love would be burning red, but it's golden like daylight. Oh my gosh, shut the front door. And then the last card we have is the King of Pentacles. Every conquest I had made would make me more of a boss to you. I'd be a fearless leader. I'd be an alpha type, because if I was a man, then I'd be the man. Okay. Wow. Wow, wow, wee wow. There's a lot of messages here. I'm seeing the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the King of Pentacles. These could represent either qualities or other people in your life. We were talking about self-limiting beliefs, or limiting beliefs about yourself and your capabilities. There's also something about comparison here. With the Six of Wands, this is inviting you to stand in your power, to be willing to accept acknowledgement. And with the Knight of Wands energy, this is willing to put yourself out there. This is willing to be uncomfortable. And with the Queen of Wands, this acknowledges that like life is still hard. Life is like, life doesn't stop even though we're together. The sun is a sign of hope. The dawn of a new, oh my God, I said that. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. You have the passion. It feels like one person embodies the passion, or maybe you both do to some extent, but the Queen of Wands is more optimistic, more charismatic, whereas the King of Pentacles is more grounded. We have the same word fearless happening. And again, when I think of fearless, I think of taking risks, and vulnerability is definitely one of them, because you don't always know how someone is going to respond. And while we hope that they respond in a way that demonstrates compassion and empathy, that might not always be the case. And I think if you're meeting this person very well could be Leo. There's Taurus. It's okay, wait, hold on. Jupiter in Gemini is actually a very current transit at this time. And again, if you're watching this, this is intended to be a timeless reading, but ignore this if this doesn't apply. So it's going, it entered Gemini on May 25th of 2024. And it's going to stay there until June 9th of next year, 2025. According to, I think it's Cheney Nicholas, for the first time in 12 years, the planet of wisdom and abundance enters sociable, flexible, and chatty Gemini. Curiosity meets opportunity. And that's so interesting, because it says like what Jupiter and Gemini teaches us. The primary lesson of this pairing is that for all of the seemingly endless possibilities that find you over the next year, you can't say yes to everything. Jupiter and Gemini can amplify information overload, but it also grants us an opportunity to make choices that narrow our scope. Over the course of this transit, we will be reminded that decisiveness is a superpower and commitment is an act of courage. In order to make decisions with gumption, we must first check in with our values and then choose to honor those. Prepare your pros and cons list and get ready to move toward what lights you up. Jupiter in Gemini is here to cheer you on. And this was the last time, this is all I'm going to say. Hold on. The last time Jupiter in Gemini was 12 years ago. That was June 2012 to June 2013. And that's just a wild time to think about it just feels like so far away. Communicating is important with this, catching your breath, kind of taking a step back and focusing on calming down your inner nervous system. It's all not your inner nervous system, like regulate your emotions. In meditation, it's like through silence, manifestation can truly happen because you're able to put all of your focus into visualizing. I know you have to be in a certain state of mind. As a neurodivergent person myself, I struggle a lot with visualizing. And meditating in general, like it's helpful. I'm not gonna lie, it really is, but it's not always going to be something that I am in the state of mind to be able to do. But I do think that doing it relatively consistently is good, just to like practice that deep breathing and practice being present with your breath. Jupiter in Gemini is bringing out like a playfulness, so doing things and like trying new things, and maybe lean into things that you've always wanted to do together, but you're like, you keep making excuses. Like, try to hold yourselves accountable. King of Pentacles is just, it's giving me home base to me. So this is, I said marriage in the beginning. I do think this is all about like you guys building your lives together. We have Leo energy here, a lot of Leo energy. Knight of Wands is Sagittarius. We had Taurus energy. King of Pentacles, I believe, is Taurus, I want to say. And the Queen of Wands is Aries. So those signs might be relevant. Expressing who you are. Like, fire is passion, and you can't have passion without authenticity. And I'm speaking from an Aries moon, Aries sun, Libra rising. There's this, like, I had extra credit for one of my early family studies classes in grad school, and this is the speaker listener technique, and you can screenshot it. You can probably Google it. I've laminated mine just so, like, if Marty and I need to have a conversation, this just kind of helps us truly be present with each other. And so that might be helpful for you if you find that there's a lot of passion in your communication. In order for you to keep that authenticity going consistently, you need to be honest about who you are and what it is that you want, without and turning down, it's like I'm thinking of a stove, like reducing the heat on others' opinions of you and your relationships. Take that with what you will. I'm getting the energy, though, of like a protector. Like someone who you like just associate with safety. This person like really loves travel and has like a really strong sense of adventure. I think they might be a little bit more spontaneous than you are. But it's almost like you welcome it because it's just a different pace. And like it also kind of challenges you in a way where I think that might be good. I have a cousin who he's in a new relationship relatively. Like they just celebrated, I think, 6 months in October. And they had to, like, she really wanted to go apple picking and bake a pie. And for my cousin, cooking is not his, or cooking is his strong suit. He feels more insecure baking. And he like made me aware of that. But it's like, it's a good thing to kind of work together with your partner on something and like share in that uncertainty a little bit, because it just, there's like nuggets of wisdom in those teachable moments, in which like you get to know each other, and it's like a process, and then it's a task that you complete together, which I think is really how you can see if your relationship, like if this person is someone that you can work together as a team. I think that's another big thing, is I think at least one of you in the relationship is like, I can do it for both of us. I can carry the weight for the both of us. And that's not like, maybe you're not giving each 100%. I think someone kind of might do more in the moment, but I think when it's a long-standing pattern of you doing everything for the both of you, that's when like bitterness really starts to set in, and resentment, as we were talking about with like the people pleasing. We have abundance. Keep a positive mindset, manifest exactly what you want, gratitude, bliss. I don't think this specifically applies to just romance. I think it can apply to a wide variety of things in your life. But I do think it's like you are releasing those blocks. So you're learning to, oh, my battery's going to die. Hang tight. I will replace her. I also thought of like a journaling ritual that you could do together. I know, or like a couples workbook that you could complete together. Some of you might be like moving up in your career, getting promoted, getting a new job, having more stability in your life. And I think that definitely takes stress off your plate and creates more space to cultivate and nourish those like connections in your life. We had this in another group. I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming. Fun flirting. Want to date. I think you don't see what they see in you. They see someone who's powerful and confident, and they're enamored by you in all of the little things that you do. I remember once when I was in a relationship and I was just like watching the person I was with like pour a glass of water, and I just was so awed by the way that she did it. Like it was just so soothing to watch, and just like her energy and everything. But so it's like I'm saying, like the little things, or even like the way eyes, you're like someone's eyes when they look at you, it's like such a source of comfort. Very playful energy here, very playful energy. Romance is blooming. Romance is alive. You guys are keeping things exciting, or trying to anyways, but like seeing possibilities, seeing obstacles as opportunities, barriers that can like, that you want to attend to. We have passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. I want to change insane to intense chemistry. I like that a little bit better. I think that's like each other equally, like both hemispheres of this heart kind of come together. Because it's like if one person is, again, more invested than the other person, and then you don't communicate, it almost doesn't feel genuine because you're leading them on. I understand not being 100% certain in how you feel, but if you both are on the same page, it just amplifies all of like the existing energies. So I'm just getting really good energy from this. We have a photograph here on the bottom of the deck looking at your photos. Maybe they're like they found your profile on social media, or they're like looking at your dating profile, missing you. This might be if you're in a relationship, or if you just got out of one, like the person you were with might miss you, or they might still like think about you even if it's been long after the fact. Nostalgia, I think that there can be like a sweet spot for simpler times, or maybe even like it might like you might miss the person you got to be when you were with that person, and making new memories, like celebrating the joys of cultivating new experiences with this person. Or even like, again, let's say you're in the same community, right? And maybe there's a restaurant that you would always go to with a past partner. That's like a personal choice, I think. You can either go with your new partner and kind of reframe that experience, or you can find a new place together. I would say, though, that like if you are going to bring them, maybe don't be so straightforward about like, oh yeah, I used to bring my ex here all the time. Like keep that a personal thing for you, but just understand that this place might hold significance, but it doesn't have to like define the relationship. It's not like I can only go here with this person. And so I think that's kind of like demonstrating how you can try to be a little bit more flexible. Okay, let's get some. I think too, some of you are like have really put career first, and so you never really kind of put on like, you know, like maybe love for you wasn't something that you expected to kind of come into your life. It almost feels it's like the icing on the cake. Like you've done so much work and you've gotten to where you want to be in your career, and then like this person comes into your life and just it's like the bow on top. Like it's just pile 2. I don't know if I hope I didn't say pile 1. Pile 2, love messages for you. Pile 2, what are the love messages for you? Photograph, that like, I think as I said wedding, maybe you guys are planning like your honeymoon, your photography, all of that jazz. Okay, hold on, because a bunch fell. There's a lot here. I think I might go through them, but it is going to be at a faster pace. Like I'm not like, so just take what resonates, which one resonates, and like leave the rest. Okay, so we have purse. Pay attention to your finances. Setting financial goals. August, both the song and the month. I was taught like very heavy Leo energy. Skull, hidden secrets can harm you. Arrow, this is Sag. I feel like you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Psychic ability, trust your instinct. Maybe this person has brown eyes. We have the flute. We had the flute over there too in that first card. Disappointment in a friend or lover. And the wilted flowers here. And I think, again, communicating, it's not going to fix, it's communication itself is not what improves relationships. Communication opens the door to clarity. And then when you both can understand each other, that's when you can talk about goals, talk about issues that are happening without fear of judgment. Like you're both on the same team. We have desk. Pay attention to your work. We have barrel. You feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Teardrops. Great personal sorrow. You might meet this person following a big breakup, or there just might be a lot of heavy stuff happening in the world right now, happening in your life right now that are kind of dampening the mood. And, you know, these are personal feelings that you have that may require processing. Sunrise. There's the sun again. New creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. Maybe you've moved somewhere. And then we have lightning. Control your anger or you will be sorry. Words are really powerful, and if we're not emotionally regulated, it can the delivery can be way off, and that has lasting consequences. That's what I'll say. Wow, we had a lot of messages here from all of the piles. So take that with what you will. I will see you in a reading soon, a video soon, whatever floats your boat. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far. If you resonated with the content of this reading, give this video a like so it lets me know, and it's a free way that you can support my channel. Ciao, ciao for now. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading about what you need to know about connections, relationships, what have you. This could apply if you're in the romantic sphere and wanting to know more, or maybe you can apply some of these insights to other personal relationships in your life. We have the number 43 here. 43 makes me think of 143. I love you. 43 also reduces to the 7th house. The months 3, 4, 7, March, April, July. Those could correspond to significant months for you or someone else, or 3, 4, or 7 could reflect you or someone else's life path number or Enneagram type, whatever holds most significance. Take what resonates, leave the rest for the collective, as this is a general reading. So we have in this card an image of this teeny tiny boat. And in this teeny tiny boat, it almost looks like this was part of a ship that like got brought on, and it's a lion. A lion's head with like wings. I do think of Leo energy, I'm not gonna lie, but this is a sign of strength that is leading you forward. However, if you look, this couple's face, like these couples' faces, this couple's face, both of them do not look 100% sure of things. Maybe this person looks more sure than she does, but she looks like she's seen a ghost, or like her faith is really shaken up. And maybe there's been a lot of turbulence in the relationship, maybe not necessarily caused by one of you, but outside external sources. We see the waves kind of crashing alongside the exterior of the boat, which might imply stressful times. And I think this is almost a test of fortitude for the two of you in seeing how you can work together, how you can come to compromise, how you can make a plan for the future in light of the uncertainty of it all. We have this voyage being taken. This could be a journey, literal or metaphorical. Some of you might be moving. Love does not give up or lose faith. So persistent. Love is persistent. Love doesn't walk away in the face of fear. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. So having faith that this relationship is going to work out, as long as both of you are willing to commit. It takes two to do the dance. And sometimes in order to move forward, again, coming to a compromise, coming to clear communication. I had this like with an extra credit assignment for one of my family studies classes, and it's like a speaker listener technique. You can Google this and print it out. I've laminated mine just to kind of have on hand when, if I feel a little bit more on edge and I just kind of want something to hold to kind of ground myself, but also listen to the person, listen to understand, not listen to respond. That's like what this piece of paper like represents to me. And in order to move forward, you need to know where the other person is coming from, or it's going to be a continued like tug of war almost. So with that being said, you also might be taking a risk. Like this might be moving for your partner's career, and you might not have been in the relationship all that long, and it feels like this sudden upheaval. And while you love this person, you also are terrified of leaving all your loved ones behind and not really having an idea of when you're going to be able to come back. And so it's like, are you able to make these big decisions without resentment and like maybe needing to process that with, yourself, trusted loved ones, your partner, maybe even like a mental health professional, whether it be in in individual counseling or in couples counseling. But it's not just them on the boat, and I think that's worth mentioning as well. There's like this conch shell that holds this like inner sanctuary. It looks like it's almost like a portal to another world, and we have like this palace, and we have candles, and we have a violinist. And so it's like, I guess, don't lose sight of the wonder in life. Life's challenges are like a storm. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you choose to navigate through it. And it's important to trust the process, even when it's uncomfortable. Because I mentioned uncertainty, and sometimes we don't get all the answers, but we don't need to have all the answers. It's about that dynamic, how you're willing to work together and discuss what might be happening in order to make a plan moving forward where both of you are on the same page. So with that being said, I'm going to get into some tarot cards. I'm going to use the Eras Tour deck because Taylor Swift is the queen of my heart in terms of love and relationships. Okay. Pile 3. What is Pile threes. We have the Ace of Swords here. What if I told you I'm a mastermind and now you're mine? It was all by design because I'm a mastermind. This honestly, okay, so the Ace of Swords can be new ideas, right? But this also, to me, sounds like you've manifested this person. Like you've had to endure a bunch of different individuals that were not right for you in order to find your person. And it also feels as though maybe some of you are like, you take manifesting the law of attraction really seriously. And like your master manifestors, some of you, like, manifestation might be at play in your love life. I have manifested my partner, and I have no regrets about how anything went down. But the Ace of Swords also represents an air sign. It's air sign energy, so Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. And I also think it's interesting because like, it seems like the way that you two come together is kind of serendipitous. Oopsies, didn't mean to. Okay. It's like, and then the way you go about meeting each other is very serendipitous, but also like the connection is instant and things pick up really fast. You almost feel when you're with this person like they inspire you to a whole new level than you ever thought possible. And I think you really appreciate the way that they talk to themselves, the way that they speak with you, and they use, they communicate with empathy and validation. You could have also met like through mutual friends. Okay, we got a bunch. I think we got like 4. So we're just gonna go with it. We have the Chariot. He said, let's get out of this town, drive out of the city, away from the crowds. This is so weird because we have them on a journey and then like getting out of here. 1989. It's like I'm thinking like you made like a wrong turn, not like a wrong turn, but it's like you made it by accident and you took a detour. And yeah, you guys, if you're in a relationship, the two of you might really appreciate travel and adventure and spontaneity. We have the Two of Pentacles. I'm still on my tallest tiptoes, spinning in my highest heels, love, shining just for you. I want you to know I'm a mirror ball. I can change everything about me to fit in. I think in this instance, I think that you are learning that it is like safe for you to be your authentic self. You don't feel with this person that you have to sacrifice any part of who you are for the sake of their comfort. You can go all weird and they almost match your energy. I like to get all the cards out first and then kind of do a larger interpretation. Here's the Emperor. Hello, Aries energy. We rule the kingdom inside my room, and all at once, you are the one I have been waiting for, king of my heart. Reputation was like my reputation and lover were like, and folklore were like my bread and butter. During the summer of 2020, following my like the second big breakup that I had, and then like up till I met Marty. And when I met Marty, I think I just knew. I knew that he was the one. And when we kind of like when I knew that it was gonna be us together, I made it's still my ringtone for him, but it's the king of my heart. And I know that's like super cheesy, but he really is. Oh my gosh, it's interesting because we have 4 and 7, and then 2 plus 1 is 3, 4, 3, 7. But this is Chariot. This is Cancerian energy. So this talks about the beginning of summer. The Emperor talks about the beginning of spring. So that could provide some sort of timeline for you. The Emperor is all about structure, and the Chariot is all about like feeling. And so the Emperor doesn't really like the king of my heart. That says a lot because like you're wanting to build a structure, like a future with this person. You are in the driver's seat and they're like your co-pilot. Like you couldn't ask for anything better. Okay, so we do have the 5 of cups here, but I don't want you to think that like this is all like down the toilet, okay? Dear John, I see it all now that you're gone. Don't you think I was too young to be messed with? The girl in the dress cried the whole way home. I should have known. I think you've been taken advantage by a lot of people before in your life. And I also think that it's like we have love endures here. No matter what, no matter how big the breakup is, eventually, for most people, I can't speak for everyone, but most people then heal and put themselves back out there because one would rather find love than spend the whole rest of their life unknowing. It's kind of like, or spend their time and their life with someone or with others, depending on, like what your preferences are. Open relationships for some people, like that works. And if it works for you and if it works for them and it's done in a very healthy way, in a communicative way, then by all means, like go for it. The two of you kind of like to be in your own little cocoon. I do think that, like, and also with the love endures, like, just because you find your person doesn't mean that all of life's problems go away. It is hard work. And maybe you met, like, following a breakup. I think this person was able to kind of help you forgive past people in your life that have wronged you and kind of release some of that resentment a little bit. And not necessarily because, oh, I've met you, so nothing else matters, but it's like, you want to look ahead at the 3 cups instead of the 2. I'm trying to like orient the cards in a way that makes me happy. Oh, but then like at the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. I don't want to grow up, wish I'd never grown up, could still be little. Oh, I don't want to grow up, wish I'd never grown up, it could still be simple. And I think that's like the thing we all kind of hope that like or wish that we could sometimes reverse time and go back to when things were easier. But that's not how life works, unfortunately. And when we find those people that help make the dismal side of life a little bit lighter, that's worth holding on to. Honestly, like these two really resonate with me, like the 2 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups, in representing like past relationships. You're learning to embrace who you are as well, like that undying self-love. And even again, outside of the realm of romantic relationships, this is taking initiative to express your emotions, taking initiative when communicating your emotions. This song feels like a letter, right? It feels like a journal entry, and maybe journaling is something that can help you process. But I really feel like the message here is hope, with like we rule the kingdom inside my room, and all at once you are the one I have been waiting for, king of my heart. And it's like almost like you're rebuilding a structure with this, like the 5 of Cups and the Emperor, like slowly but surely as you heal further. Asking for forgiveness and also growing more comfortable setting boundaries, I think is really important. And maybe sometimes there are there are times in which physical distance might be necessary in order to preserve the integrity of the relationship. However, if you are kind of always feeling like I have to walk away, then like, is this really worth it? Because at the end of the day, like, you deserve peace too. You deserve to have your needs be met. And I think maybe some of you were told no a lot. Like, no, not right now, or no, I need to do this first. Like, you are always put second. And I think this is your time where it's almost like you're demanding that you be put first. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a really hard time with the placement of these cards, in case you couldn't tell. I guess I'm going to have to leave it because there's no fixing it. It's just we're working with a little bit of a smaller space today, and that's the way it is. So with that being said, I'm going to get some oracle cards here for you. I think loving ourselves and forgiving and releasing, or learning to release some of the pent up emotions that come with past relationships is also worth exploring, especially if you're letting them have power over you. Like, it sometimes, like, take it from me, it's like, I don't know, I had prolonged communication with an ex, and it was an unhealthy dynamic, and part of me was holding on for the sake of comfort because I could call and I didn't have to explain who I was. Like, they knew me, but they definitely took advantage in ways that they should not have taken advantage. Like, it was not good. Let's just put it that way. And I didn't see that at the time. And then, I don't know, it was like one time I called and I was like, I just needed to talk to someone. And I thought that they were an appropriate person for some weird effing reason. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was really like lonely. And this person had seen me kind of go through it all. Like, it was a lot for my first relationship. And I remember calling them, and they tried to turn it around into, they were trying to steer the wheel into a domain of conversation that I did not want to have. And they were persistent. They didn't stop. And I think I hung up the phone, and that was it. I didn't talk to them again until I met my current person. And he was like, because my past person had stuff that was mine at their apartment and they wouldn't let me in. And Marty was like, no, you have to do this. And so, like, he kind of helped me not only like get my stuff, but then it was like I didn't have a reason to talk to my ex. And so it was just like so easy for me to close the door. And I didn't realize how necessary that step like needed to take on, because, you know, and okay, so this like makes sense because the two cards we have are karmic relationship, fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. Karmic relationships are not always good. I think they're here to teach us lessons about ourselves. And those lessons are they can be painful, they can drag on, especially when we're not aware. I think that's a big thing, because like when I opened up my eye to like what I was settling for, or allowing, like how I was allowing myself to be treated in some of these relationships, it's like, it's so eye-opening that like, and I just want to like give a hug to myself, like even 4 or 5 years ago, because I like put up with stuff that I should have walked away from and protected myself from, and I didn't. And for that, you know, but it's like we all have that kind of process. We all have unique experiences that define us and as individuals. And that emotional baggage is something that we have to unpack. Now, for some people, they can do it on their own. And for others, maybe a little help is required. And that was my case. And believe me, it like you feel so much lighter. And I think that's what this reading is inspiring. It's like feeling lighter. We also have the Phoenix. New phase, rekindled, renewal, transformation, growth, changed mind. This is a paradigmatic shift. In other words, a transformation in your worldview about how you see others, how you see yourself. What does love mean to you? What does love look like? And I think it's especially difficult when you were not shown what authentic love is. Like when you don't see that modeled within your parents at a young age, I do think that also influences things. And so understand that is not like, not to say like you're picking the wrong people, because at the end of the day, no, you don't know that. It's not like they're wearing like a hat with what, the best and worst traits are. At the bottom of the deck here, we have palm tree, stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance. We have endurance again and flexibility. Keeping an open mind. But also it's like this person feels like they're your palm tree and that they provide you the shade and the security when life gets very dark. I'm trying to think if I used any other cards. I don't believe I did after my tea leaf, but I'm gonna get some. I used to keep my little fortunes in this little disco ball, but I started getting like way too many. So I switched to a cauldron. So I'm just going to get some because I feel like maybe some of you need to hear it. And you might be at various points of this journey. Like you might not be in a place where you're wanting to invite love yet. But it's almost to say that like, trust the process, like trust your intuition in all of this. Because you will meet the right one. It's just a matter of divine timing. Because for example, I'm happy. Like if I had met Marty, well, actually, no. If I had met Marty sooner than I did, and it's funny because like I was on my way out of dating men at that point, and I almost was like annoyed with Marty. Like I didn't want to like follow through on that communication part, and I'm so happy that I did. But I might not have said yes. Like, or I might have not been in a right place and I might have effed it up because like emotionally, again, I don't think I was ready. And so it's like, I'm glad that he was the one that had more faith. And like, yeah, but it's just interesting. So we have a couple fortunes and a couple like bocce papers. The first one says, you are an artist that your colors show. Don't be afraid to show who you are. The next one we have is you have an active mind and a keen imagination. I definitely think you guys are like master manifestors. We have lucky numbers 11, 10, 18, 25, 33, and 38. Next we have it's high time to rekindle the stars. There's that word again, rekindle. So some of you, maybe there's like an old flame that's coming through. And I'm not saying, again, like I know I had said like talking to an ex, it's not, for the most part, it's not always a good idea. But I know there are exceptions to that. There's exceptions to every rule. And so maybe, you broke up due to things maybe not aligning right time-wise. And so maybe you're giving this person a second chance. We also have what's a friend, another me. This person, I think, like if you found it, like this is your best friend. This is someone who speaks your language. This is someone who like you can make eye contact with and almost like communicate telepathically. Like it is bananas. And like that kind of connection doesn't just come every day. So try, like, appreciate the value of that. Okay, I'm going to get some tea leaf oracle cards, and then I'm sending you on your merry way, pile 3. Any last messages for pile 3 in love, relationships, and connection? Ooh, shyster. That was a lot. I'm not going to take that many. I even split this into like 2 halves. I got one. I want like one more from this one, okay? And then we'll get the other half. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like do the camera. Shift the camera, I mean. Okay, pile 3, pile 3, pile 3. This person is your cheerleader. Like they almost challenge you in your way of thinking, or like they really believe in something, maybe like even if it's like your ability to do something, like maybe it's a job and you don't have all the qualifications, however they think you should still apply, and you're like, no, I'm not qualified, and they're like, no, I really think that you'd be good for this. Like they really know you. As I said that, that's so funny because career came up. Maybe this person, like you have similar professions, or you guys can just like talk together, like talk about your career, or you meet at work, or you meet like at like a professional conference or something like for work, and you're not, again, really expecting it. We have nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you, so having someone who upholds those family oriented values. We do have victory in some endeavor, and it kind of looks like Aries to me, so take that with what you will. I'm biased, clearly, but we Victoria might be a name. Yeah. Bear, danger, especially in money matters. Maybe this is a reason like why you're moving. I'm trying, like, I don't necessarily take the words verbatim. I kind of try to apply the meaning within the context of the reading. I'll read the spirit animals passage too. We have table, we have hard work ahead. Maybe some of you are working like in collaboration on money and finance goal, like the money and career goals, like short-term and long-term goals for your future. And then we have the wheel, indecisiveness, allowing time to ramble aimlessly. So maybe like just creating deadlines with yourself. Also the wheel, I think of Jupiter, I think of change is happening. And maybe that is something that is terrifying to you. Maybe there is a move, maybe there's, a job change, and or in a situation presents itself in which you have to find new employment. And especially on top of let's say you own a home, let's say you have other life you're responsible for, whether it be pets or children, like that adds a lot of stress, and that can take kind of the romance off the table. And so just like trying to cultivate and hold on to those small moments where you can find them in your day is important. I said I was going to look up the brown bear for you. Stay grounded no matter what. It's time to bring your dreams and plans to fruition. It's important to trust your instincts. Enough hiding. It's time to come out and meet the world. Don't just wait for something to happen. Take action now. And I will show you the page so you can screenshot it. And then you have this little step up here. All right, pile 3, those are all the messages I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in a video soon. Ciao, ciao for now.